Hi, I'm Ronak, and I am currently working as product manager at JAR, where we are building and making savings and investing easier for India. And other than that, a little bit about myself. I completed my graduation in BTech in 2017 from Heritage Institute of Technology, Calcutta. And post that, for the last 4.5 years, I've been working as a data scientist for early stage startups. And in that time, I've gotten to work in various different domains ranging from fashion and e-commerce to fintech to working in the customer support automation side of things for the last 2.5 years. All in all, I've been like a generalist and a problem solver at all these companies that I've worked at, and which has helped me work on various different aspects of the product and not just like the machine learning and AI side of things. Yes, I did actually. So I actually, before I even ended up enrolling for Upraised, I did a few courses on my own through various different platforms and courses, the MOOCs that are available. And I also ended up applying to a few companies as well for the product role. I didn't get a lot of shortlists, but I did get a couple of them. But even after getting into like the interview phase, I realized that I was really lacking preparation in terms of how to go about the whole PM interview, because it's quite different from the other roles that you interview for, maybe a data scientist or a software role that you do, right? So I really felt that's where one of my blind spots lied. And I also needed more understanding of what really a product manager does. So even with the courses that I did, I didn't feel that I got the complete picture per se. And that's where I felt that there's more polishing required before I get into like a core product management role. I think there are two points to this. One, as I mentioned, is that I worked at early stage startups, so I was working on various different aspects of the product. So I was kind of doing some of the like a lot of the product work without the product manager's title. So I felt that is something that I understood that I want to be involved in more, and not just the data side of things. But the second thing was that because I was working at early stage startups, there's a lot of times that they don't really require a core product manager to be working on things. So I felt I needed to move to like a bigger company as well, and having this expertise and having a good portfolio would definitely help me stand out from the other applicants. So that's where I felt that CAP really would help me and help me advance. But what I realized was like different about Upraised was the amount of rigor that is given into not just building out the course, but also the amount of rigor that is expected out of you as a participant in the program, right? So you can't just like pass a test by just doing some random assignment and just like go ahead with it. You really need to have put in that time and thinking, and then present your solution. And then once the feedback is approved by your mentor or performance coach, is when you get to move on to the next step of the journey. So that in general makes you more conscious about the decisions that you're doing during the program, and in general helps you become like a better product thinker more than anything else, right? So that was super helpful, and that's something that really stood out for me. That would be like the whole program in general was nice that way. And as I mentioned previously, like the whole interview process and the interview prep that you go through during Upraised really sets you up for the interview round that you would be doing once the portfolio and everything is done. So those would be the two major aspects that I really enjoyed about the Upraised program. I really enjoyed the whole 16 weeks of Upraised. While I would say that it's 16 weeks of really intense work, but it also comes along with like 16 weeks of really intense learning as well, where it feels like a mini MBA that you're doing that is specifically focused on product. So that I really enjoyed about Upraised. If I were to like list down a few things that really stood out for me, was building out a complete portfolio by working on real life problems that startups might be facing, and really identifying opportunities and putting that into perspective and building out some documents and PRDs and things like that. So that was something that really helped me feel what I would be doing as a product manager in the day-to-day side of things. So that would be one. The second would be the interviews that I ended up doing, not just with the peers that I was doing the course with, but also the expert interviews that I ended up doing, which is part of the program. That really helped me polish my interviewing skills, because the expert interviews obviously bring their own set of expertise, as I would say, but also doing interviews with your peers also help you learn a lot from the way they are conducting themselves at the interviews, and getting feedback from them based on the sort of interview that I gave. So all of that combined really gave me a good polishing in terms of the interview prep that I got. So those would be the two major learnings and the two major takeaways that I would say I had from Upraised. Other than that, the mentorship that you get and the help that you get from your performance coach, that is something that I'll be taking back with me for a lifetime, because the advice and the feedback that I got from them has stayed with me, and that is something that is really helping me even at my current role.